Key. Because, as we know, is this Yadayana Dhamashan Glamir Bhavati Bhavarta, that he's constantly coming. But this particular time when he comes is very special. At this time, he's coming with extra mercy. It says if you want to return to Vaikuntha, or go Loka Vrindavan, then you must have 100% pure love of Godhead. I'm not quite there yet, so for those of you who are there, okay, you can go in there. You can come and go at your life. You're already in the spiritual world. It's not just a wait to go. We see some great souls that were like that. You see, especially in America, in the West, Jesus Christ is the predominant saint, right? Pretty much. And I guess you're surprised, even Bhaktisiddhanta, so many of our acharyas, they all recognize him as having Krishna praying. How? You look at the exhibition, especially of his, when he's being attacked by the non-believers. Did he retaliate? He could have easily made a tsunami come, just wash them away. But he's praying for them. Oh, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. So this is a sign of a person who is experiencing Krishna praying. So, Lord Krishna came. Of course, it didn't look like he was giving much because so much killing, right? All this, from a childhood, he's killing so many demons. Battlefield, Kurukshetra, so many people died. But that is so that this Kali Yuga can come. Why? Who would want Kali Yuga? It's such a horrible time, isn't it? So many bad influences. Why would Krishna want that? Because in this particular age is when this mercy comes. Because for the most fallen, it's practically a hopeless age. This is the age for receiving the results of all your sinful activities. People who are very sinful, they take human birth in Kali Yuga because they just suffer. And Kali Yuga is such now when you just suffer, you create more sinful activities here. So, but in this age, with Krishna coming, and then he's coming again as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki. But for two reasons, he's coming because he wants to experience that pure bhakti that's manifested in Srimati Radharani. She is the embodiment of pure devotional service. And then described up in Goloka Vrindavan, he can see that Srimati Radharani, she is tasting the nectar of the devotional service much more than me. I want to taste that. But as Krishna, he cannot taste it. Because he is the enjoyer, he's a receiver of bhakti. So, I'll take birth as a devotee. And he comes as Mahaprabhu. And then that mercy is, we see how he manifested that mercy. He didn't just sit in Vrindavan, oh, where's Krishna, where's Krishna? Oh, no. Out of compassion, he goes to help so many other people. We see even in the material world also, some people who become extremely wealthy, they become charitable, don't they? So we'll just speak of a person who's experiencing pure Krishna praying. So we have the appearance of Lord Krishna, then we have Mahaprabhu, but between Mahaprabhu, Lord Buddha appears 2,000 years ago because he had compassion on so many animals being slaughtered. Because Kali Yuga had advanced, people were taking all the Vedic rituals and just misusing them. And all the animals were suffering. So he came and said, forget the Vedas. Just practice non-violence. So, but eventually this Buddhism, because he was saying there is no person, when you die everything becomes void. But this didn't hold in India because the Vedas are very strong. So you find this Buddhism spread China, all these other Asian countries. It's still very prominent in those places. And finally, Lord Shiva, he comes also, so that the Vedas are reestablished as Shankaracharya. Of course, he explains it in a personal light, covered. Finally, we have, not finally, but so many other charyas accumulating Madhavinda Puri, who brings back this Achinta Veda Veda Tattva, simultaneously is one and different in this pure love of Krishna. Oops. And then somehow or another, from Mahaprabhu's appearance, it seems to become covered. To me, it's still a bit of a mystery. Why? Why didn't it just continue to just expand rapidly? He's the Supreme Person of Godhead who can preach better than Mahaprabhu. Right? A gentleman asked Prabhupada once when he was constructing the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan. He says, why are you making this big temple? He says, I'm making this big temple to attract you. He says, here's Bhaktivedanta Swami sitting under the tree. Who will come? And then he said, well, these boys came. He was pointing to Brahmananda, Kirtanananda. He said, yes, they came, but you did not come. For you I need big temple. He said, I am not Mahaprabhu. He said, Mahaprabhu could walk into the jungle and all the tigers and lions became pure devotees. So I need big temple. So Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, after this has been covered over, because Mahaprabhu had predicted back then, in every town and village in this world, just imagine, this is 1520, somewhere around there. You know. There's no modern technology. Nobody's sailing around the world yet or anything. There's not even printing press or paper. And he says, in every town and village in this world, my holy name will be chanted. That's like saying, I'm going to become a millionaire in 2 years. Yeah, right, Sikhi Mahiti. We're praying for you, but I don't think it's going to happen. Seemed impossible. So almost 500 years pass. Everything is just about wiped away. What was Vaishnavas becomes Sahajas pretty much. Just taking it very cheaply. Being in Gopi Bhav, so many of these all sampradayas. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur appears. He is sent from the spiritual world. It's described. And in the course of his reestablishing the literature, the philosophy, he prays the Lord Krishna, you please send someone to help me finish this mission. And then his son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in that painting back there, he took birth in Jagannath Puri. And then he took a big battle of fighting all this caste Brahmanism and so many things in India. Re-established sannyas. There was no more sannyas in this method. He was preaching so strongly that those Brahmins, they wanted to kill him even. They would attack the Parikaram party. He would go to the temples of Vrindavan, they would close their doors. They wouldn't let him in, no. Except for one temple would let him, Radharaman temple. And then Srila Prabhupada, he appeared in 1896, Calcutta. And at the age of 22, he meets his spiritual master, who immediately upon seeing him instructs him, you boys are all university educated speaking English, why you don't take this mission to the English speaking world? And he's taken aback because at that time India is subjugated by the British. And they begin, Prabhupada was a Gandhi man. No, we have to liberate India first. Then we can go around the world. And he says, we don't have time for that. This message is too important. And Prabhupada says, at that moment he defeated me. And I accepted that instruction from him. And from the age of 22 until the age of 69, he struggled to try to establish Krishna conscious mission so that he could take it around the world. At first, he was a pharmacist. Most people know Prabhupada's history. He was a pharmacist, or a chemist, that's what they call it in those days. Not like nowadays, you go get your pills, they just count some out the box. But in those days, the pharmacists, they would mix them right there for you. Like that. And he had a pharmaceutical manufacturing company. He stated actually it became so successful, he said, I was almost the richest man in India. And he's thinking, yes, with this money I will establish temples, so much preaching. Because you need money to do these things, right? No, you don't. He proved that. Money will come. It's not because of money these things happen. Therefore, Krishna, someone asked me that once too, that Krishna is such a pure devotee, Prabhupada is such a pure devotee of Krishna. Why didn't he just give him millions of dollars and let him, and make it very easy for him? Because he's very dear to Krishna, right? If someone's very dear to you, do you let them struggle? No, you want to help them. But that struggle is not difficulty for a pure devotee. For someone on a material platform, yeah, it's difficult. But for a pure devotee, it enlivens the heart, more of a challenge, right? It's like people who are going to fight for their country. Is it difficult? Yes and no. But for my country, I will do it. I crawl through the mud. I'll take so many bullets on me. I doesn't care. I must save my country. And even the wives, they're also feeling difficult. No, my husband must fight. You see? That's a material platform. What they speak of on the spiritual platform. So actually, it glorifies Prabhupada to come with such an old body, to come with nothing, no experience. And then to do what he did within 10 years, isn't it more glorious? If he came with millions of dollars, people, oh, anybody can do it. He had $1 million, you know? It's easy, right? And then nobody would take it as very significant. And then again, too, if he's coming with so much money, everybody's coming for the money. Oh, look, Krishna conscious people are very wealthy. Let me come to Krishna consciousness too, so I can be wealthy. Hare Krishna. But when he comes like that, all there is Krishna. Even in the beginning, when he would have kirtan, Brahmananda tells a story, Prabhupada would sometimes sit in this Thompson Square Park, and for 5 hours, he'd just chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Only that melody. He didn't have two melodies. Sang for 5 hours. No instruments, practically speaking. Whatever they have, they just play it. Some people with these little horns, some people with little cans. And just to show the potency of this Mahatma is not dependent on any external thing. Even Bhakti Siddhanta, he would often, when there was kirtan, if someone had a very nice voice, he'd take the mic away and give it to somebody with a bad voice. No, you chant. So I didn't want to hear sweet voice, I want to hear Mahamudra. So in this way, all of this effort from 5,000 years ago has accumulated in Srila Prabhupada completing the mission. Not, well, pretty much establishing it, laying the foundation. Now it's your duties to complete it. He said 50% of my work is done. So what does that mean? He's leaving some for us, giving us some mercy. Right? I can remember being in the movement at that time. Of course, in the early days in America, even in London too, people are, they see this dress and they become angry. What is this? Why you're not American? You're American. Why you? So you had to put up with so much, vitriol. Now, I think you go out and sell books like this. People walk up to, can you tell me something I should learn from? Oh yes, I've heard Bhagavad Gita. Pretty commonplace now. So. But, in the beginning. But still it was this, even though it seemed difficult, because Prabhupada was there, it was so easy. Because he's leading the charge, he's cutting through all these things. You read the Gita and you say, how do you apply that Gita? How do you apply Krishna book? Nobody lives like that anymore. How do you do it? So he showed us practically how to do it. And that practicality is this purpose. This is what should be our purpose. Our purpose should be to become Krishna conscious fully and to continue expanding this mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We want to make Krishna happy. This is what Prabhupada wanted. His whole life was for that. He sacrificed everything for that. Srila Prabhupada said that often to us. He says, you have this one life and this nice opportunity. So sacrifice it for Krishna. Don't worry, you'll get another birth if you want. But while you have this nice opportunity, make that your purpose. Well, how can I do? I have so many responsibilities. No, you can at least desire. That's where it begins. Not that I simply want Krishna because I am not happy and I know Krishna can make me happy, therefore I want Krishna. That's okay in the beginning, but we should rise above that. As you advance, you rise above that because you become satisfied. So you don't need anything. If you don't need anything, you see other people are needing. So naturally you want to help. Or even if you want, I do want something like, okay, I'd like to go back to Godhead. Who wants to go back to Godhead? Say Haribol. Haribol. Who wants to stay here and preach? Say Haribol. Look hard at the stage. I want to go back too. That's a good motivation. Okay, let me do this so that Prabhupada is happy, Lord Chaitanya is happy, Krishna is happy, so I can go back to Godhead. That's a good motivation. Because you can feel some enthusiasm for that. That's the point. Utsahan is Chiraj. Yeah, we want some enthusiasm. Sometimes people also ask me, well, how do you, when you chant japa, how do you really do it nice so you keep your enthusiasm for chanting japa? If I say I have 2-hour kirtan, everybody can do that, right? 2-hour japa is kind of like, well, but kirtan, sure, I can do 2 hours of kirtan. I said, because I chant my japa because I want to make Prabhupada happy. This is how we have to motivate ourselves. It's not about I. It's about Krishna, Krishna's representative. This is what it's about. So you do it for their pleasure. He instructed me to do it, I'll do it the best I can, but let me finish it at least. That's all. Very simple. And from that, everything else will grow. So, Mahaprabhu, again, some people ask, why didn't they ask Prabhupada? Why didn't he finish? Sometimes they say Bhaktivinoda or Mahaprabhu. Why didn't Mahaprabhu just spread it all over the world? He could have done that. Right? Is there anything Krishna can't do? He can put a banyan tree in a little seed that's like this, right? So surely he can do these other things. So Prabhupada replied, because he saved it for me. He wanted us to taste some of this nectar. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtan. Therefore, Mahaprabhu didn't appear now, while we have all these conveniences. So you can fly around the world. Printing press, there's no printing press, so Mahaprabhu was there. If you wanted a book, you have to write it on some wood or some leaves, right? Now, I went out the other day, we're selling Bhagavad Gita. We're selling for $5. That's the same price we sold it for in 1974. See the mercy? $5 now and 74 nowadays is about $50. But we still have it. That's the mercy of Krishna. Everything else is inflated. Bhagavad Gita price stays the same. Krishna's mercy. Because he wants to spread. In that book, they take it everywhere. 500 years ago, if you wanted Bhagavatam, could you get a copy? You fill this room up with so many leaves, right? How do you keep them in order without spilling it over? Which is the first page thing? Made it very. Now, even now on the internet, you see, all these things are for us. It's actually for spreading Krishna consciousness, even though it appears as for their material enjoyment. is actually for spreading Krishna consciousness. If Prabhupada could fly around the world 8 times. I think I've read the last count, about 500 and maybe 50 million books have been printed and distributed since Prabhupada's appearance. Sounds nice, but there's 7 billion people in the world, so we got a lot more books to do. Right. Still have a lot of work. Some mercy still left for us. So you should see it like that. You embrace this. If your purpose is just to, I'm going to have a nice house, nice family, nice things like that, after a while you get bored. We were talking to one devotee who came to the temple a couple of days ago. She just completed all her studies and job is there. And she says, I'm bored. I don't know what to do now. I've done everything that I'm supposed to do. You see? What else am I going to do? I'll serve Krishna. Take up Krishna's mission. It's a nice mission. It's glorious, isn't it? You get eternal recognition in the lives and lives going on. It's so auspicious that even 8 generations in the past, 8 generations in the future, they all get liberated. You can't get more auspicious than that. So Srila Prabhupada at the advanced age of 69, struggling to come to America or go to the West, he thought his spiritual master had sent disciples to London in the 1930s. I can't remember exactly what year. As a matter of fact, I think that's why you see now, and they also went to Germany, and they met some of the leaders at that time in Germany. And they kind of usurped some of the Vedic symbols, like the swastika was normal things, you know. So Prabhupada said, well, let me go to, at that time, the greatest city in the world, New York, at that time. Now I don't know if it was that like that, but then, everyone was desiring to go to New York. Everything was there. But India, you can't even get passport. And then you need permission for foreign exchange, or you can't go. So when he applied for permission, they said, we're not spending any money on religion. We're not wasting foreign exchange on these things. And somehow or another, Krishna arranged, the story's going too long, I want to get to the main part of my lecture here. And he got on the boat by the mercy of this shipping magnate. Of course, it wasn't a cruise ship. It was a very medium-sized freight ship. And he took one of the cabins and is coming across the Atlantic Ocean, which is a very difficult journey. Most ships don't come through the Atlantic, especially in August. The water is very rough. This is hurricane season. So you notice in America, all the hurricanes are hitting Florida and the East Coast, August, September, October, like that. And Prabhupada began that journey and he became very sick, seasick. Has anyone been out in the middle of the ocean before? Anyone? You become so sick, you just want to die. And he's 32 days like that, coming across. It's so hard that he has 2 heart attacks. So by September 13th, Prabhupada is coming very close to America. I'm going to read from his journal. He kept a journal of his travel. And on the 13th he writes, today is the 32nd day of our journey from Calcutta. After midnight yesterday, the lurching decreased as the sea. And I felt relief. In the morning also, I could not take my breakfast properly. Then I cooked bhattacharya. What is that? Bhattacharya? Nobody else? Some kind of khichdi, I guess. What is it? You know. No? Someone is too shy. Okay. It appeared to be delicious, and I was able to take some food. Today I have disclosed my mind to my companion. Prabhupada's traveling alone pretty much on the ship, because crew members, but pretty much he's in his cabin. He said, I disclosed my mind to my companion, Lord Sri Krishna. He said, there is a Bengali poem made by me today in this connection. He says, about 11, there's a little urchin. The captain tells that they had never seen such calmness of the Atlantic. I said, it is Lord Krishna's mercy. He says, then his wife, the captain's wife, asked him, she says, please come back with us, okay? Because you're so auspicious, it makes the Atlantic calm. Little you know, Prabhupada, he'll be coming back on airplane. You're not coming back. He says, if the Atlantic would have shown its usual face, perhaps I would have died. But Lord Krishna has taken charge of the ship. So let's read what Prabhupada wrote on the 13th, on that ship. There are some prayers that he wrote. It says, prayer to the lotus feet of Krishna. I won't read the Sanskrit. He says, I emphatically say to you, O brothers, you will obtain your good fortune from the Supreme Lord Krishna only when Srimati Radharani becomes pleased with you. Don't ask me to explain because it's way beyond my realizations. But he's thinking of Srimati Radharani. He says, Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his Guru Maharaj in that painting, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, the son of Mother Sachi, is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. He is that great saintly spiritual master who bestows intense devotion to Krishna at different places throughout the world. So he's seen the mercy of his Guru Maharaj, and that mercy is driving him to complete this mission of Lord Chaitanya. He said, by his strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world. Please remember, right now there's 80 Gaudiya Math temples in India. And they're split. They became fighting amongst one another. He had instructed them to make a governing body commission, but they didn't do that. So as a result, they all broke off and made their own missions. He says, in all the cities, towns, and villages on the earth, from all the oceans, seas, rivers, and streams, everyone will chant the holy name of Krishna. As the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all directions. Remember, there's nothing now. It's just some Gaudiya Math in India. But Prabhupada is proclaiming like this. As the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all directions, a flood of transcendental ecstasy will certainly cover the land. I like to be here to see that, right? How many people have been to Mayapur? You can see it in Mayapur for sure. 50,000, 100,000 people coming. And I think like that, wow, why can't we be like this in Atlanta, you know? 5,000 people in Kirtan. That day is coming when we think, it ain't going to happen. Of course, we're not going to be able to do it, but it's already been predicted. It's just a question, who's going to take it up and do it? So Prabhupada's seen all this. He says, when all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, the Vaishnava's desire is then fulfilled. Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. I am very fallen and insignificant. This is the mood of the devotee. Prabhupada, even materially speaking, he was such a great person. But to speak of spiritually. But he sees himself like this. He says, therefore, O Lord, now I am begging you for your mercy so that I may become worthy. For you are the wisest and most experienced of all. If you bestow your power by serving the spiritual master, one obtains the absolute truth. One's life becomes successful. So here's the secret. We beg for Krishna's mercy, and we take that mercy and use it for serving the spiritual master. If that service is obtained, then one becomes happy and gets your association due to good fortune. My dear Lord, O Supreme Person of Godhead, he's quoting from the Bhagavatam now. Because of my association with the material desires one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, falling in general populace. But your servant, Narada Muni, kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve the transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How can I leave his service? This is Prahlad Maharaj. Isn't that working? Oh, okay. I thought you had it. O Lord Krishna, you are my eternal companion. Forgetting you, I have suffered the kicks of Maya birth after birth. This is Prabhupada praying. Then he says, if today the chance to meet you occurs again, then I will surely be able to rejoin you. He's talking about, this is how he sees having a heart attack. What happens when we stump our toe? Oh, Krishna, help me, Krishna, help me. We don't think like, oh, I have a chance to see you again. Save me, save me, save me. What sinful activity did I do that caused my toe to hurt? Like so many things. I. But he sees death as a chance to be with Krishna. He says, now he prays to him in this mood even. He says, oh dear friend, in your company, I will experience great joy once again. In the early morning, I will wander about the cowherd pastures and fields. So Prabhupada's envisioning Goloka Vrindavan. Running and frolicking in the many forests of Raj, I will roll on the ground in spiritual ecstasy. Oh, when will that day be mine? Today that remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way. Because I have a great longing, I call to you. I'm your eternal servant, and therefore I desire your association so much. O Lord Krishna, except for you, there is no other means of success. So we see Prabhupada going through these different rasas. He's wanting to run with Krishna in the spiritual role in the fields. At the same time, no, I have to have success in preaching. But I want to be with Krishna. Oh, this is devotional life. You don't hear him, oh, when will be enough money to take care of my family? Because his family was destitute. He had to send them to his relatives. Oh, when will my health get better? Oh, when will my job get better? So this is on September 13th. Prabhupada arrives in Boston Harbor on the 16th. So we'll jump over to the 16th. This is when he's arriving in Boston Harbor. He writes, today is the 35th day of our journey. And yesterday night at about 10:30 p.m., we have turned one wheel towards northeast corner from the Bermuda latitude towards Boston port. In the morning, the atmosphere was fairly cleared and the ship was plying very smoothly. The first officer told me that they never had such experience on the Atlantic Ocean, and he ascribed the good luck to me. Srila Prabhupada ki? Yeah. It's all our good luck, right? I said, yes, it's all Lord Krishna's grace, because due to my severe type of seasickness, he has himself taken charge of the ship. He says he's done this in an expansion of the Lord. He's rowing the oars. We shall certainly reach to America port safely. The whole day was clear, sunshine, but at 4 p.m. the sky all of a sudden became foggy. So they stayed there for 2 hours, and then finally, on the 36th day, says our journey, we reached safely in Boston at 5:30 a.m. Very auspicious time. Brahma Muhurta. Srila Prabhupada ki. He writes, we are now on the dockyard of Boston, and at 10 a.m. the custom officers and others came on the ship. So you can imagine the boats there. Prabhupada's been living in Vrindavan villages. You can't imagine India at that time. All of a sudden there's skyscrapers. You know, all the beautiful white people with their suits and ties. In those days, not like nowadays. Everybody now, if you wear the undershirt, this is not underwear, it's outerwear now, right? T-shirts. Nobody would think to dress like this back then. Yeah. I think the British, they still some suit and tie, right? You know that?
Yeah, very formal.
Yes, there's a little culture, you know. He sees all of this. He said, they have now issued the admittance permission after due checking. He said, I saw the Boston town with the captain. It is very nice. I shall describe it in a separate note. 36th day from starting from Calcutta port to today, we are expected to reach Boston port on the morning. So we stayed the whole day and night in Boston till 4 p.m. the next day. So let's read Prabhupada's. He wrote again some nice prayers. This is called Markande Bhagavat Dharma. Agni Dev, he took this, I'm not going to read the Sanskrit because we don't have much time, but he put this in the song. It's very beautiful. You have to look on the internet, you can find it by Agni Dev. Prabhupada writes, my dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul. But I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you have bring me to this terrible place? Most people are thinking, no, they're trying to swim across the river to get to me. Walking for days. Imagine they take that determination to go back to Godhead. You become purable, yeah? Problems, that's a terrible place. Most of the population here is covered by material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied. And therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I don't know how they will be able to understand it. You feel like that sometimes? Especially all of you who are working. I remember when I was working and people always ask, oh, you're Hare Krishna? Can you tell me something? I don't know what to tell them. I don't want them to get upset or think bad of me. You don't know what to say. Even when you go sell books, I went selling books yesterday. I haven't done it in a long time. I went in regular dress. Normally I would go like this, so it was pretty easy. People know why you're approaching them. So the regular dress, it took a while to figure out what to say. But I figured Krishna will tell me, let me just try. That's the point. You let Krishna use you. That's what you do. So you just try. You pray to Krishna. Okay, obviously you put me in contact with this person. They've been millions of births. They've been all over the material world. Now they meet a devotee. That's not ordinary. Do your duty. Try. Don't think about, well, I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want them to not like me. But you don't have to be heavy. You just be nice. That's all. So he says, but I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you're the most expert mystic. How will they understand the metals of devotional service? Oh Lord, I'm simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. All living entities have become under the control of the illusion energy by your will. And therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. Isn't that true? So we have to have faith in that. I wish that you may deliver them. So Prabhupada's prayed for us. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only you will be able to make them understand your message. The words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation. And if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submissive reception, here's a qualification. Be a little submissive, not challenging. Why is Krishna God? Why not Brahma? Everybody God. What? then it won't come in. You're blocking it. You have to admit, I don't know. I've been trying all my life and I'm still not happy. You see? In that position, now you can be helped. But if you think, no, I know. You know what makes you think you know? I'm going to know. If I don't know, I will know. I don't need you. You're lost. The words of Srila Bhakti incarnation, if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submission and reception, then he will be able to understand your message. I won't read. He quotes the Bhagavatam here, very long. He quotes the verses beginning with Srinvata Swakata Krishna, that whole series, all down to Vidyate Hridaya Gantis. So time is running short, I won't read all those, but it gives very nice instruction about how one becomes purified. Srinvata Swakata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Hiriyansto Bhadrani Vidunoti Saritsitam. So he says, he will become liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion. And thus all inauspicious things accumulated in the core of the heart will disappear. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I'm very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. So if some of us have been chanting for a while, and we begin to become like this, yeah. You keep chanting, so then you become more humble. As you advance, you realize how fallen you are. You do. And then when you're fallen like this, now you can receive Krishna's empowerment to preach, not just to enjoy it, but to preach. So therefore I'm seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it's up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. The Lord can accept either one, right? Oh, spiritual master of all worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel enlightened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. Is there any other shelter? Maybe United Nations can save us, right? Everybody's got nuclear bombs, they're ready to throw it, right? North Korea, madman. I will blow everybody up. Keep messing with me. Watch and see what I do, right? Russia. Yeah, I'm going to kill everybody. You don't give me Ukraine. Pakistan, India, everybody fighting. Wow. Who can stop it? Only these books. You got to make them realize, oh, this world belongs to Krishna, and we're all Krishna's servants. So we should share it equally. It's not just for Russia, not just for Chinese, not for Americans. It's for everybody. And once you get a taste of Krishna consciousness, you become satisfied. You don't need things. So greed goes away. So he says, oh Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then what? What does he say? Make me dance. Make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance as you like. Yes, Prabhupada. Every now and then he would dance in kirtan. He's very old. He says, I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Jaladuta, Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Massachusetts, dated 18th of September, 1965. Srila Prabhupada ki. You have to put that on your bucket list. I put that too. Every year I keep saying I'm going to go to that place. They have a festival on this day there. And chant, kirtan, till pastimes of Prabhupada. And you can see where Prabhupada began and landed, and from that point on is considered the beginning of the 10,000 years of golden age. And in that 10,000 years, Prabhupada will be the Acharya, and we will follow those instructions. So it's our duty to keep the message as Prabhupada has given it. Doesn't mean everybody has to shake their head and do like this, but there's a general heart to it. And that heart is satisfy Guru and Gauranga and encourage everyone to chant Hare Krishna. And this will be good for you, it'll be good for everyone else, it'll be good for the whole world. So we'll stop here. This is Prabhupada. This is probably about less than a year after arriving at Boston Port. You see how he's sitting there? No cartels, no nothing, no nothing. Matter of fact, let me read one last thing here I wanted to read, then we'll stop here. This describes when Prabhupada arrived. It says, Prabhupada's journey to America was motivated by his guru. Prabhupada's belongings included $7, which was rupees, a letter of introduction to an Indian family in Pennsylvania, a suitcase with some volumes of Bhagavatam, an umbrella, some dry cereal, boxes of books. That's it. He didn't go here, go there, what do I do? But that's glorious. That's why Krishna sent him like that. It's glorious. So we have everything. We have so many books now. They're only $5 to sell, $2 to purchase. So no excuses, right? We just have to overcome our fears. And each of us take that responsibility like Prabhupada did. Don't wait for somebody else and let us give Krishna consciousness to everyone. Srila Prabhupada ki! All glory to the Son of the Lord.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So let's big Hare Bol for us. Hare Bol.